Hello and welcome to Nana's Crafty Home. My name is Tanya. I am going to be showing you how to use a free service called Stitch Fiddle that you can find at stitchfiddle.com. This service is free for the basic service that I'm going to be showing you today. And essentially I'm going to be working with how to create a crochet corner to corner graph that you can then print off and use to design your own personalized corner to corner graphs. So it's a really simple and easy website to navigate, but I am just going to show you the basics on how to create your own graphs. It's a free sign up, so you don't need to pay anything in order to sign up for the service. This would be your main page before you've created your online login. So just go ahead and click free sign up. And I'm going to go ahead and log in with Facebook because I want to make sure that it isn't showing you the paid. I also have the paid version of it, but under a different name. So I'm going to use a different login name, which is going to show you the free service and won't let us have any of the premium options with this tutorial. So when you get to your main screen after you've logged in, you see this sidebar over here, and you have several different options. And one is to create a new chart. So we're going to want to create a new chart. We want to choose crochet as our craft, and corner to corner crochet is what we're going to want to choose for today's project. You have a few options here. I'm going to show you today how to create one from an empty chart with your own design. So go ahead and click on that. This is where you are going to choose how large your grid is, how many pixel blocks your grid is going to be. You can use the size calculator to help you make a sample swatch and then put in what you want your finished size to be, and it will tell you approximately how many boxes you will need to do to get the size with your swatch gauge. But for today, I am just going to do a very simple graph here. It automatically defaults to 20 by 20, which is of course a square. You could do a rectangle if you wanted to. It tells you here this is 20 going back and forth, and these are top to bottom. So if we wanted to make a scarf, of course we want the number of rows for it to be taller. If we wanted to make a rectangle blanket, we probably would want to make the columns wider as well. So basically we're just going to choose the 20 by 20 and create chart. And then it comes up with this blank grid. And you can see over here I have several default color options, but you can add more colors. If those colors don't work for you, you can click on the +1, and when you click on the +1, it brings you to all of these different options here. And so you can just choose one of these. You can run through the spectrum of colors. If you see something that you like, if you want something kind of in the green range, you can go to the green and then click on something that appeals to you in that picture. Here's the preview of that color, and then you would add that to your menu over here. I'm going to go ahead and add in dark blue, and I'm going to click add. You also see here you can add in symbols. If you'd like to add in a symbol, you can do that. Primarily these are going to be for other craft options, but I have used symbols in some of my graphs when I've wanted to show like a diagonal where half of the block is empty, I have used symbols in those graphs. So once we've picked the colors we want to add to our choices on our menu, we just click add. Now all of these are the colors that we have to choose from here from our palette. If you click on the color palette box, let me click on that again. If you click on this box here, that's going to tell you what the colors you have on your menu, what their abbreviation is, and what it stands for, the description. Once you've selected some of these colors and had them in the graph, you can see here right now everything is white in the graph, so 400 boxes, 400 pixels are white. But you can see here this color that I added in does not bring in an abbreviation, does not have a description. I will have to give it one. So since B has already been taken for the other blue, I'm going to go ahead and put BL and then put dark blue here for the description. You can go ahead, once you've finished, you can click this remove unused and it will automatically delete any colors that you did not use in your graph. But we don't know what we're going to be using in our graph yet, so we're just going to click submit. And now we're going to go ahead and design our graph. And simply to do that, all you need to do is click on a color. So let's say I want to start with that dark blue, and I want to make a balloon. If I make a mistake, I go over here, I click on the white, and I can go and remove anything that I don't like. If you have a lot that you want to get rid of at one time, you would just left click hold and it will easily remove anything. You can also do that to add colors if you have a lot and you want to do them fast instead of individually clicking. You would just left click and hold and you would be able to color in a large portion of your graph. So I want to get rid of that pink. Let's see what we get with green here. So let's see what I want to make. And you can see I'm just clicking on a color and then I come down here and click on the box that I want to be that color. And fill them in. So of course you can do any kind of graph you want, and this is pretty abstract. I'm liking kind of the round shapes here. Almost looks like abstract little flowers, blobs of paint, interesting little designs. And let's see what happened. Remember when we clicked on that color palette there, it brings up a list of all the colors that I have on my menu, and you can see that the count has changed over here. So I have 15 red boxes, 18 orange, 21 yellow, 16 green, and so on. And then at this point, if I didn't want to do anything else with this, I would just go ahead and remove all the unused. It would automatically delete those out of my list and then click submit. So you can see here now the only colors that are over here in my menu are colors that I actually have existing in my graph that I made. So when we click on File here, I have several different options. I can save it, and even in the free version, it will allow me to save it. However, I have a limited number of charts that I can save. I think it's 15 or so. Once you get to that 15 number, you either have to upgrade or you have to delete out previous saved graphs in order to save new ones. Then if you wanted to download it, you could go ahead and click download. When you click download to print it, you have a file type over here of options that you can choose. The only ones that are available in the free version are the ones that are without the asterisk. So the PNG, the PDF, looks like those are the only ones that are available in the free version, both of which are completely usable. The PNG downloads really nicely. You can, when you go to download, you can tell it where you want a legend. Maybe you don't want a legend. Do you want it on a separate page, on the right side or at the bottom? I'm going to go ahead and leave it at the bottom. Then, of course, you can click on edit. You can change any of the symbols here, the descriptions or the colors, and then click apply. And when I click apply, it's going to go ahead and download that into my downloads. And when I click on it, there is my graph that I downloaded. So that's perfectly printable. I could enlarge that if I needed to, and then I have it on my computer as well. You can also go ahead and name it by clicking on chart settings, title, and layout. If you wanted to give this a title, let's call this Paint Blobs Graph, and click apply. Now you can see up here, this has a name. When I go to my charts, it's going to show here as one of my available saved charts with the name down here at the bottom. So if I go back into this now that I've saved it, in order to edit this, you can just go ahead and make any changes that you would like to. You can add, so let's say you decide after you created your chart that it's not quite the right size. You want to make some adjustments. You would just click on edit and you would put add one column to the left or add one column to the right, add multiple columns, add one row above, add one row below, add multiple rows. So this is a fast way. If I click on add one column right, it automatically added one column over in this direction. I now have 21 columns this direction. If I were to add one row above, you see here it added one row up above, and now I have 21 rows going up. You can also zoom this so you can look at it a little bit closer. And there's lots of other different options. In my opinion, the ones that I'm showing you today are going to be the most used. Really just simple options. I'm not delving terribly deeply into Stitch Fiddle. You can get a lot more complex and complicated in here, and there's a lot of other things that it will do. But this is really just a brief overview of how you can do this to create your own charts. Now, some people like written instructions for their patterns. If you don't want to get the premium, you are not able to get written instructions for your pattern. But let's say this is my It logged me out. Okay, so if you have the premium version, as you can see, I have a premium version here. When I click on written instructions, it doesn't have that premium version off to the side. With that premium version, I click on written instructions and it will automatically give me row by row instructions, which are completely customizable by clicking on the rows. If I don't want to see the arrows, the direction arrows, I can delete those off. If I don't want right side and wrong side on every row, I can delete that off. If I want to change the corner text to where I go to the decreasing, I could change that to corner begin decreasing. I can show a legend if I want, so it'll show me the abbreviations for the colors that are in the graph. I can, it can say what the stitch count is. You can always show how many stitches you're going to have at the end of every row or never show it. You can also change the stitches, how you want them divided. It defaults to the comma. If you want to show the count for single stitches, you would click on this box and it will show you the count even when you're just doing one box for that color. If you want to change where you're seeing the count, so here you're seeing white 1. If I want that 1 before, I just change that to before. If I have long descriptions, they automatically enclose them by parentheses, but you can change that option as well. You can change how you want your count text. Do you want it to say ×2? Or do you want it to say, let's see, well, how would we want to say that? Well, we could get rid of the times and then it's just pink 1, pink 2 here, pink 3. But if you want that times, you can put that back in there as well. You can show the count after or you can show the count before, and you can change the descriptions again from this button. So lots and lots of different ways that you can make adjustments to the written instructions. And then once you're ready, you can just print those from here. You can download them. If you download them, they will download with the name of the project that you gave it. So you'll always have it on your computer if you wanted to refer back to it as well. So that's another great option if you're going to do the premium version of Stitch Fiddle. It is not terribly expensive. I think I paid for a year as of today. I think it's around $21 a year. So if you're going to use it a lot and you like written instructions, I think that that is very reasonable. I love the fact that I can have both the color full graph as well as having the written instructions, so it's extremely worth it to me. But we all have different comfort levels with that, right? And you know, if you only work off of color graphs and you want to create your graph and then print it, the free version is absolutely going to be a great option for you. You know, especially if you're not wanting to save a lot of graphs for the future and you just want to make something and then be done with it. Of course, you'll have it on paper if you print it off, but you won't have it in digital form unless you saved it to your computer, which you can do that as well, even in the free version. So I hope this tutorial has been helpful for you today. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get notified when I post a new video. As always, thank you so much for being with me today. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.